Ben, what is your mood like this morning?
Tenuous. I'm trying to, it's moment by moment. I'm trying to just sort of, it's that thing when, you get to that game where you go, okay, this is the game, this is the make it or break it game. And last night felt like it was that one for us, just knowing what the odds are. If you go down 3-1. And then, of course, as a Knicks fan, I woke up this morning thinking, well, series not over yet, right? In my head, I really feel like if we can win tomorrow, and then we go back to Indy, it's going to be a hard climb, but it's hard to reconcile, like saying like, okay, I don't give up at this point, I guess is what I'm saying.
I respect it.
It's it's not a great position to be in right now, though.
I see the despondence and I do see some optimism though in your face. So we'll see. But Shaun, I'm curious for you, man. How are you feeling today?
I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. But at the end of the day, like, the season is still going, and I can't die until I'm dead. So, Knicks in 7 until proven otherwise. And like Ben said, at this point, it's just one game at a time. I mean, it's been one game at a time all series, but at the very least, go back and protect the Garden tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're 3-6 at the Garden in the playoffs so far, which is pretty disgusting. But go back and protect the Garden. Don't let them hoist their trophy and celebrate. And, because Tyrese Haliburton is going to have a lot of fun with that. So defend the Garden tomorrow and make it 3-2. And then from there, I feel like 3-1 is improbable. 3-2 is unlikely. And then 3-3 is anybody's series. So one game at a time. And, as you can see here on the board, Knicks in 7. Please God. So,
I was happy to see you put that up in post-game pouting last night. I was there's that big, like, dramatic wait for what he's going to write on the board. And then it was Knicks in 7. And I was like, yes, this is what we need.
I love it. And two, the most passionate, I should say, Knicks fans that I know, that I've gotten to know on social media at least. And so I'm so happy to have you guys here. I was worried that if the Knicks had gotten swept, we'd be doing a full post-mortem. But fortunately, they did split in Indy. And Ben, for you, what happened in Game 4? Because they played so well in Game 3 late. What was the difference there from your vantage point?
I mean, look, I'm no expert. You guys are the experts, and I just watch as a fan who watches a lot of the games. And you have to give credit to Indiana that they were playing really well. Tyrese Haliburton had an amazing game, and it as we know, they're a really, really fast team. And if you turn it over, they're going to score off of that. And we had 17 turnovers. Was that what the number was?
Mm-hmm.
And we looked discombobulated. I mean, there's a lot going on, obviously, new lineups and, Tibbs trying things that really haven't been tried throughout the rest of the season. Sometimes, with some success. But I think, I don't know, just for me as a fan watching, I saw the team feel like they were off kilter. Maybe it's like, even just like seeing, like, I appreciate bringing Josh off the bench and, making that move with Mitch and, changing it up. But also, as I'm watching Josh Hart play, I'm saying, I'm sure for him, it's a different, even though he's getting a lot of minutes and and like, he didn't have the greatest game last night, but I feel like he's probably trying to adjust to his new role. For him, it's a different sense of the game and confidence going in when you're not starting, even though he's willing to do it. I feel like everybody's trying to adjust to these new lineups a little bit.
Ben, you call yourself a casual fan. That was high-level analysis, man. And actually, I'm going to need you to take it down a couple notches, because the more you do that, I could see my SNY bosses, the wheels are turning. They're thinking about the Ben Stiller hosted Putback. So,
well, it's been my full-time job being a Knicks fan the last month, so maybe that's the natural evolution of it.
And Shaun, how about you, man? Difference between Game 3 and Game 4, what stood out?
I think in Game 3, in the second half especially, third quarter, definitely in the fourth quarter, I think we played very intelligently defensively, and there was just a lot of effort. Like, there was effort, there was intensity, and they played with a sense of urgency. Their rotations were phenomenal. Those are some of the best defensive possessions I've seen us have. And the Pacers play fast, so you're going to get a little scrambled. But even when we were scrambled, like, if you're going to be scrambled, at least, be like good eggs. Scramble hard. Like, don't scramble and be lost. And so I feel like we didn't play with that same intensity in this game. That sense of urgency seemed to be lacking. We didn't take care of the ball. And it's hard to put, like, I think the Pacers half-court offense is not super special. But they didn't really have to play much half-court offense yesterday because we turned the ball over 17 times. And even after makes, like, they're taking we get a layup and, we feel like, hey, all right, cool, 2 points. And they're taking the ball out of the basket and immediately throwing it down the court. So we're aware of that at this point. We've played this team. We played them last year. We've played them now for 4 games. And I think that we just have to keep that same intensity level. Also, Mikal Bridges has to, like, lay the ball up. I don't know, man. Like, you get the ball at the basket and you're taking, 15-foot turnarounds, and that's almost a turnover. Like, it doesn't count as a turnover, but we had a couple of possessions that we squandered. And with the Pacers playing at their pace, which we managed to slow down in the second quarter, I think that we have to do a better job taking care of possessions. I think that the rotation, I know that we're adjusting to it, which is unfortunate, because we just changed this last game. But, no minutes for Mitch Robinson in the fourth quarter is strange to me. Deuce playing 14 minutes yesterday is strange to me. As Ben said, it's probably an adjustment for Josh coming off the bench. That first half, Josh was not good, but he played the entire first half. And it's just like, there's no indictment on Josh. I just think that, you got to, Tom Thibodeau always says, the game tells you what to do. But I feel like he turned on his noise cancellation in his AirPods yesterday and didn't listen. So hopefully in game 5, we're able to, do what the game says to do and pull out a win.
Yeah, I was also surprised. DeLon Wright, minutes in the first half, positive impact, and then he didn't see the floor until I think 3 minutes into the fourth quarter, and it was a quick stint. So, yeah, Tom Thibodeau going deep into his bench game 3, and then kind of went back to the other way. Game 4, we'll see how he goes. Game 5, MSG and the Gainsbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, both of them, to me, were very loud. I thought the Indiana crowd was great energy. And Ben, for you, your vantage point, which crowd? Like, obviously the home crowd is different, but when you're sitting there in Indianapolis in the middle of it, what are your thoughts of the crowd?
Amazing atmosphere. They're, as we all know, they take their basketball very seriously in Indiana, and they have a lot of pride. And it's a great arena. They're right on top of the action. They've got those yellow T-shirts out. They had a lot of their legacy players. I was sitting one seat over from Antonio Davis, which was pretty cool. And the fans were all great. Very like to us, they were very cool. And just really, and by the way, our seats were like right. We were caddy corner from the bench, from the Pacers bench. So it must have been really annoying every time that we're like the only 2 guys, me and Timothy, cheering, every time the Knicks get a basket and the bench is right there. But the fans around us, everybody was amazing. And, they're really into it. So, it was really fun. It was really fun to be in that atmosphere. It was obviously a bummer to lose the game, but, it was very, very exciting.
I'm glad to hear that you were treated well by the fans nearby. We all saw Mr. Pat McAfee and his it was like a WWE style call out. Which, did you know that was coming? Did you?
I have to say, I was not familiar with his game. I did not know that was coming. Is he? I know. Look, I'm a casual football fan. I know that he was a field goal kicker.
Punter for the Colts.
Punter. He was a punter.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and then he got really popular on his show. Yeah. Was he also a wrestler? Does he also wrestle?
He does I think he does WWE commentary. He does work with them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I did know that Timothy, had been on his show. And I was like, oh, that's your boy. That's your guy. And then, so when that happened, I was a little bit like, whoa. That's okay. But then the WWE aspect of it, I get it. He's like, it's just not the way it happens in New York. You know what I mean? It's not what, if you go on the Jumbotron, like they're going to show him, if he comes to the Garden, he should come to the Garden. He should come to the Garden for game 5. And, they'll put him up on the screen and they'll show him punting the ball and everybody will give him a nice cheer. So, that's how we do it in New York. But I get it. It was fun. I felt like, he was just trying to get the crowd riled up. It was, a little bit out of the blue, but it's also like a little bit of like, are we really doing the narrative of like Hicks versus Knicks? Like the big wigs from New York. Okay. It just seems a little cartoonish. Right.
Yes.
But then again, it goes with the WWE thing. So.
Yeah, he certainly leaned into it. Here's my thought. I saw it live, and I saw the list of names. It was you, it was Tim, and it was Spike Lee.
Spike, yeah.
There was another New Yorker in the building, and I was a little surprised Pat McAfee did not include him on the list. 50 Cent was right there, courtside, to make it clean.
He's not stupid, Pat McAfee.
He didn't have Pat's list, so I thought that was an interesting omission. But Shaun, when you were watching this, we know your relationship with Ben. We'll get into that a little bit later. What was your reaction?
Yeah, Ben is my guy, so it really upset me. I was very bothered by it, and I was bothered not only by Pat, because I'm not gonna lie, from Pat's angle, like as a Pacers fan, even though we do it differently in New York. That's probably cool. It's probably cool to fire the crowd up and say, "Oh, send them back to New York." Because as the Knicks always say, and when you're winning, you can talk. And so I think I got more upset with the Knicks for putting Ben in that position, and Timothy too. Timothy is a cool guy. Spike is a cool guy. 50 had a yellow shirt over his shoulder, and they put him on the jumbotron and like cheered for him. That was strange. I wasn't sure what his allegiance was last night, but it's
he had
okay.
a Yankee hat on, though, I think.
Yeah, but take that yellow shirt off your shoulder, man. I didn't like that. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of it, and it made me all the more want to come back and win the game.
Yeah.
So it was disappointing.
Yeah. Also, here's what I like about our team is, and this is for real, like in success or in failure, we have a very even keel as a team. Knicks win that first game the way the Pacers won the first game. You're not going to see Jalen Brunson go. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen with Jalen Brunson. It's not going to happen when they win the series. So same thing like with the Pat thing. It's like, it's okay. That's just that's the personality of the of the team, and I guess Haliburton in particular. By the way, Haliburton, incredible player. It's like it's amazing to watch him play live. I wish he didn't go so into the villain role, but then again. They're going to be those guys, they're going to be the guys who like thrive off of that energy. And at the end of the day, that's what gets them going. And as Shaun said, you don't want to put them in that position, and that's on us for sure.
Ben, do you see, like, when you're watching a Haliburton play so well, is it like is there any kind of, I don't want to say that it's equal to, because it's not, but he's performing, right? Like you perform in movies, on the set, on stage, and it's kind of a performance when somebody's doing that and they're in the zone like that. I mean, do you see that at all when you're watching it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Trae Young thing. It's like, these guys, that's their thing. They want to come into MSG and it's going to get them going. I don't have, a big issue with it necessarily. It annoys me as a fan because you don't want to see someone do that, and when they come into your gym or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's just his personality. He's fun to watch as a player. He's incredibly quick. I mean, when you watch him live and you see how fast and how springy he is, getting around the court, it's really it's really something. And he nailed it last night. He had a triple-double, right? Triple-double
and no turnovers. And Shaun, I wonder.
No turnovers, yeah. And that killed us. That killed us last night, the turnovers.